So here is technical analysis routine number 2. The first one we did on Beyond. If you want to go check that video out and see the basis behind this routine series, you could check out that one. That's in the private playlist as well. But all the concept is just to go through a bigger time frame and just go down. This is just a routine, exactly what the word means. I mean, just going down from bigger time frame to smaller time frame, drawing crucial levels around current price to hopefully get a good alert level out of it in the future. So I'm just going to start here on the daily. And just off the rip, I just instantly want to go ahead and mark me a good trend line up, because as you can see, without even marking a trend line, I mean, you see a pretty sharp increase from there to there. So I'm just going to go from the body. Let's just go about right there, which I need to move this back a little bit. We can just go from there to there. So I'm going from wick, covering that, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have a good line on the bottom side. Let's get a good one on the top side. So choosing between here, you're going to get kind of a rising channel, almost rising wedge on some charts. If you're to grab from here, you're going to get a broadening channel. But either way, it doesn't matter because you have this bottom trend line. So you at least have a good distance on the bottom side. You have a 100% reliable one from the bottom. So if you're choosing between here and here, I'm probably going to go from after the fall because you want to get the information after the fall. So I'd be grabbing from about right here. So if you have that and just going from bodies, you have a pretty broadening channel. If you do end up going from just the other peak, you have kind of a, it's almost wedging because it is technically converging on each other, but it's not 100%. So it's kind of just a rising channel. But I'm just going to go from, here. Just going to go from the last dropping candle just to get a good channel on the outside of it. And if you want to, you don't even have to do that. You could just do after the fall. So you could do first recovery candle. Therefore, it's a little more clean. You have a bit of a broadening upward channel. So it's bullish still, but you definitely have some ATR to worry about as the stock loses some fuel as it keeps rising. So let's go down to the 4-hour. So I think I'm gonna stick with those lines. I'm probably gonna remove this one. I just really don't like it. I'm just gonna stick with this right here. I really like how strong that one is. Definitely. We could definitely just grab one from here as well if we really wanted to. Just put a line right there because you do have a clear resistance there 3 times at that angle, so that is good to go off of. So now we're going to zoom in. We're going to try and break it down and get us some zones. And so instantly, I want to try and find some very strong levels, that whether they're support turn resistance or resistance turn support. And just instantly off the rip, I want to see what this lines up with. So bam, strong resistance as you can see there. Big move up, support, support, support. Almost a support, but we have the trend line, so that's why it's a little higher low there. So that's a good line there. That's just for the future. You know, that doesn't have to be around current price. And let's go ahead and mark the high of the time frame. It's about 171. So that looks like where price is going to try and head towards to test for a double top. For a true breakout, it's going to be looking like this, where it goes up once and then twice. And right here, you'll probably get a rejection to a cup and handle, and then it'll start picking up. Do a little jump rope around it and then push back up. So we're going to be looking for a break of 171 with volume. On our smaller time frames. I'll have to break that down a little more once we get to there, but I'm actually going to leave that line actually because resistance, support, big push up to the high, broke below, hit there as resistance twice. It's coming back up. So it's in between this range right here, this line and this line. So now we're going to break it down to a smaller time frame, and I think I like to go down to the hour. I did add this 30-day, 30-minute. It's a pretty good time frame because I like the 30-minute, but the normal one's 10 days. I don't like that it only shows 10 days. I want to see the whole month, you know, so gives you a bigger picture on that one. So we've marked our zones, or at least our most crucial zones. I'm not going to go and mark every single line. So now we're going to try and mark some around the price. So just instantly, I want to mark this line, and I haven't even looked to the right yet, but I want to see right here. So let's just zoom in right here. So I instantly see this because I see this is the high. And we're in between this zone. Where's our next strong resistance? Definitely right here, because you have resistance here before a big push up, drops here, does a continuation, and rejects from here. So instantly, that makes it a lot more crucial. So now I'm going to look over here. Where does that line up with? Well, there's a tiny gap right here. Resistance, resistance, push up, jump rope, resistance, and then you have that push up into today. So that's a pretty big move, and that's why watching today's previous day high, or today watching the other previous day's highs that are very close was very crucial, because now we can see how strong this push is going to be or not. Just moving that over a little. So now we're focused on this range, because if it breaks below 164, it's definitely going to bleed, and it's definitely going to have to test at least, 161 right here, because this is a good resistance turn support. See, once it broke into this range, this is where it stopped. This is where it went up more, caught support. So now you have a higher low push up right there. That's bullish. So at least go test the double top. So I would say near future, Square goes and tests 171. Best case scenario, it comes back down, holds 166, or better yet, 164, or even better yet, even this trend line, and then pushes up again for a move up to 171s again. So let's go down to the 30-minute. So we have that covered. We have our levels close covered. So now we're going to want to break it down to a smaller time frame, and we're going to want to see what about today, what about intraday. And just off intraday, I instantly see the bone and the meat. The meat of the bone is right here at 167.60s. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that resistance. Also, it almost ends up lining up with this line. It almost ends up lining up with that resistance right there. So that makes this a pretty crucial break above. So this is going to be a good break above for calls to 171. This is probably going to be played out for tomorrow or even the day after. I would like to see some consolidation in between this zone kind of a little bit. See how it pushed up here and then consolidated, pushed up, consolidated, consolidated. It stayed in the range. It never really went below where it rised from, because this is technically where it rised from. And then it pushed up, so I'm going to be looking for the same type movement there for a push up. For a push down, I'm going to want to see it break this range to bleed a little more, because you do have this gap range. You do have the zones that we marked a little farther below. So again, starting from your bigger time frames, working your way down. This is how you should handle a stock when you're going to do some technical analysis on it, when you're going to chart. Start with the daily, the weekly. The weekly is seriously one of my favorite charts, because you can go to pretty much any ticker and find some of the strongest resistances ever. I can go to, let's not do BA, let's do Apple, or better yet, let's do Tesla. I can clear this, focus on just this info, and I can get the best levels around this zone right now. Whoops. Marking that because it's the high right here of the meat. It's the highest meat, I guess you could say. I have a resistance turn support here, so I want to see what this candle's doing between this range. And check this out. I go to the daily. Actually, let me go back to the weekly and draw a couple more lines just to show y'all. I like this because it's resistance, turn support twice, pushed up twice off of that line. Let's go to the daily. Look at that. Resistance, support, higher low. It's bullish. While we have this happening here. So kind of have a little squeeze trying to be broken out of here on Tesla. But I'll save that for another video. I just wanted to cover Square for the routine. But if these routines help you, please leave a like and comment, or better yet, just tag me in chat and let me know what ticker you want to see for the next one.